Hello, COM 110 students. Some of you had difficulty with the Chapter 5 quiz, and it was of no fault of your own. It was the quiz itself. I import questions from test pools, and basically what that means is the questions are already digitally in the computer, and I just pull them in. And sometimes what happens when you pull them in is the answers, it'll default to a true, so even though you've selected false, it'll switch back to true when you import it into the particular quiz. So it's a glitch with Canvas that they're working on, but haven't yet figured it out. But this is what I do. This is for the Chapter 5 quiz, and you guys don't know this. Maybe some of you do, but the majority of you probably don't. So here's this Chapter 5 quiz. And what I can do as an instructor is come over here and I can click on Quiz Statistics. And when I click on Quiz Statistics, let me show you what comes up. It tells me the average incorrect, the average correct, the high score, the low score, the mean score, the standard deviation. And that basically tells me, this looks like a pretty average test. Scores were a little bit low, but there was a student that only missed one. In fact, there was a couple of students that only missed one. So I know it's not a terrible test. It just was a difficult test for some of you. So then what I do is I go through all the questions, and it tells me there's 38 attempts. The ones in green, this is how many people answered correctly. And the ones in gray are different responses from different students, but those are incorrect. So anytime I come in here and I can see, okay, as long as the green bar is the highest, that's the correct answer, and that's the one that they should have chosen, it looks pretty fair. So question number 5, few of you got true, the majority of you got false, so it looks like a pretty fair question. Number 6, pretty fair question, although it's 52%. This is a question I probably need to look at. Well, it is 52% higher than not, higher than 50%, so that looks pretty good. This one, again, 71% looks good. So then I maybe come down to a question like, let me get to it, 1 minute. This question right here, question 18. And I look and I go, well, 39% of the class answered true. 55% of the class answered false. That means that this question is problematic. So what I'm going to do is more than half the class got it wrong. That question gets thrown out. Even if there was nothing wrong with the question, it would have gotten tossed out and everybody would have gotten a point. The issue was the correct answer was false. But again, there was that problem importing the question that Canvas didn't account for. So that is how I decide and determine, oh, there's something going on here that's not right. Here's another one. 44%. Okay, 52% of the class, it's still pretty close. So that question's going to get thrown out because it was actually an incorrect question. So I'm going to go back up here and just take a quick look through, and it looks like all of them, are okay. Now there may be times when it's pretty close, none of those are, and so then I just make a determination. Was that a fair question? I review it, I read it again, I find it in the chapter again, and I think, it's clear. That was a clear, fair question, and really, it's probably not going to get thrown out unless a student says, I think it was really unfair or what have you. So that's the deal there. That's how I take quiz statistics and use it to make sure that it's a fair quiz. This one, having 2 questions that were wrong, that's a little bit frustrating for me, and I know very frustrating for you. So my apologies on that one, but now that it's been adjusted, meaning the scores have been adjusted, hopefully you feel like it was a little bit more fair. So just wanted to give you that insight so that you know I am constantly looking at things and making sure they are fair, accurate, and that you're not being penalized because Canvas does something funky or because I'm not reviewing the answers and figuring out how these things work. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions on how this works, you can email me, send me a message in Canvas. Thanks so much.